Hi guys, Nomis here, and welcome back to episode 2 of this Subway Builder series, where I'm gonna recreate the New York City Subway one-to-one. So in the last episode we built the entirety of the one train, as you can see here, and I'm gonna start building more of the red lines, which you can see here it kind of merges off, which is gonna be the 2 and 3 train, which is gonna go further up north into Manhattan and over to the Bronx, at least for the 2 train. So the aim for this episode is to get to the northern terminus in the Bronx for the 2 train and get that line in. So before I get started, I just want to take a look at something. Last time I used some track maps from a website called NYC but I found another site which is called Van Schnukkenragen. I don't know how to pronounce the name, but apparently it's a more updated and accurate track map. And as you can see, something that's really nice about it is you have the whole map in one thing. I don't have to kind of go between different maps. So of course here you see the whole map, and I can kind of just zoom in on the exact part, and you have kind of more of the geography of it. So I'm going to be using this, and you see here, this is kind of where the line I'm going to continue building today for the 2 and 3 train. And it's quite simple really, just keep going up the streets, and here's a pretty simple flat junction, and it's not really complicated until we get here into the Bronx. So I'm still going to be using Google Maps, of course, as well, just to see, so I see all the streets and kind of where to place the actual stations. And then I'll be using this track map where it's a bit more complex merges and junctions. So for now, we're just gonna keep Google Maps in the corner here, while I'm just going through the different stations. So first, let's go to, so we started right here before Central Park, and then we have 110th Street, Malcolm X Plaza, which seems to be just about at the edge of Central Park, going up this avenue here. Or is it this one actually? Yeah. So we're just gonna do a simple parallel, have a metro station, and this is still gonna be cut and cover. So let's just do this to -4, and let's go back to 2D view because that's a bit easier. And then I'm just gonna go up here, so we have 116th Street here, I believe, yes. Then the next one is 125th Street. Then we just follow along. 135, yeah. And I believe this is where the lines start to split apart. Because see here we have 145th Street, which only has the 3 train. So let's just see where we can put that. I think it's supposed to kind of do a turn right up here at 148th Street. So that actually might need to go lower, because it kind of sits below a building. It actually looks like it is coming up from underground and kind of elevated into here. So let's see how we can do this. It almost looks like it's inside a building here, if you look at the Google Maps. So let's do this at 5 meter. And actually I want to check this Can I find some pictures of this? If we search for Harlem 148th Street. Okay, so if we're looking at the Wikipedia page for this station, it actually looks like it is on ground level, which is quite interesting. So let's just do that then. So I'm gonna actually just delete these two stations, and then let's do one here at 0 meters. I think this is pretty much what you want. And then this still needs to be underground. So I actually want to see if we have enough space here to get up. Go to 0 meters. We can actually just about. It's kind of a tight curve though. No, we're not able to. Okay, so actually able to do that there. And then let's see if we go over to the Bronx at 149th Street. That is actually where the next stop for the 2 train is. And it's here at the junction of the Grand Concourse. So it should be -4 again. And this one is quite interesting because if you look at the track map, it's kind of crossing over this station here. It says the 4 and 5. I actually think the 5 might be stopping on the same platform as the 2 train, because you kind of see it has this really weird merge into the tracks. So let's first do another station crossing over under it. Looks like you might need to demolish this, but it's okay. It's only 5.75 million. That's fine, I think. Let's just do it like that. And then I think while I'm here, I just want to get this kind of merged sorted because it's a bit of a weird one. So let's just go down here. It looks like, yeah, we do want before going onto the station. So we need to do single tracks then, and actually first we need to draw out this a little bit so we have something to merge into. And this needs to be -8 still. So let's see. And then we need to go down to up to -4. If we can fit it, yes we can. This is going to be a very tight squeeze, I think. I'm actually not sure how this looks in real life. You might need to do something strange here. Yeah, I think this might be the way, because otherwise we need to demolish something. Actually, let's just scratch this. I think because of all of the buildings here, we might need to do this even lower. So I'm just gonna actually just delete all of this. So let's do the station here at -10. That needs to be a parallel station, -10, and then -14 for this one. So now I actually don't need to demolish anything. Then -10 for the tracks here. And this is actually good because we actually need to cross under the water here, so it's good to have to be a little deep anyways. So now the merges should be a lot simpler. Now that we don't have to worry about all the buildings. Okay, we need to do that merge a little bit further back. Then up to -10 again. If you can fit it in, yes. Then let's see, can we... Bit of a tight curve, but that is kind of how it is in the real one. And then this needs to go out here. And then we need to down to -14. There, okay. Then kind of swoop it. Looks like they're kind of getting close here. Then, okay. I think that's kind of similar to what we see in real life. And then, let's see. For the rest of it, it is kind of simple, at least for the next one. It's just a simple two-track station. We still, or actually no. We have one double track station here on the ground, and we actually need to go elevated after it. So that is at 3rd Avenue, and that is over, let's see, it's here, this intersection. So we can go up to -4 again, I think, just because we need to go elevated right after. And I think that is in this gap here, because we're going up to Westchester Ave. So let us... Okay, we need to be double tracked. Something like this, I think. And is there a station? No, it's not a station right after, but we need to... It does kind of go up elevated and then go above the road on Westchester Ave. So let's see if we can make that happen. So we need to just get it tight as we can here. And then we need to go all the way up to my +5. That's not happening there. Let's see. Just need to go a little bit at a time. Let's go -2 first. Then 0. So now we're at ground level, but we still need to go up to 5. Let's see if we can do that. So we are still a little bit... Looks like we can almost do it, but it's kind of... We get to 5 here, so we might need to rethink this. Okay, so after a lot of trying and failing, I kind of managed it, but I do have to demolish this, which is a bit unfortunate, but it doesn't go away from the map, so I'm just gonna have to take that cost and live with it. If you look at the map, it looks like it's like a 3-track layout, which kind of it merges into here, Westchester Ave. So because we don't have bi-directional, I'm just gonna have this as a quad track when I get up here at this next station, which is here at this corner with 152th Street. So let's do a quad track here. It does look like it curves a little bit, the station at start. So let's see if we can just build the tracks first. Let's try to not demolish any more buildings. And then just to connect it up, let's do there and then do single tracks to merge it in. Then we can continue with the quad track. Just up here. Then do the station, which can kind of curve a little bit, I guess. Let's see, let's get the tracks lined up a little bit more better. Okay, so it looks like the game doesn't really like that. It's not a lot of curves, so I'm just gonna do this normally. The station here, just normal straight like here, and then we can try to connect up the tracks. Yes, sure, cut this back a little bit and have a smoother connection. And then if you look at the maps, it just follows up Westchester Ave and then goes up to Southern Boulevard. I think that it just follows up here to a Terminus. If you can see it, it's just following basically elevated all the way through here until we get to where is it, Wakefield. And actually only the 2 train does terminate here, and the 5 train does terminate here, and I think it actually splits apart at some point. If we look at the track maps, you can kind of find out what is going on there. So we see here it's 3 tracks, but we're gonna make it 4, of course, like we've seen. And then here it splits apart, and they look like still 3 tracks here, so just gonna keep it 4 tracks, and then it's kind of like a junction which splits apart here, which also looks like it's like 3-4 track. So I'm just gonna do that junction. And then it looks like the 5-train terminus here, and I'm not sure how it turns around. It looks like it might be using some kind of loop in this yard to turn around, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm just gonna do a loop in kind of the area which is the yard for the 5-train. So with that, I'm just gonna kind of speed up this while I build the rest of the stations, and then we can come back at the end and have a look at the system and get a route set up. Okay, so now we have all the stations and you can kind of see the path that the two train takes, and here we have the terminus of the 3 train. And now we just kind of need to connect up all the different tracks. But there is one last merge that we need to do. We did. There is one last merge we need to do, and that is here. And if we look at the track map again, it looks like it's just a simple kind of flat junction merge out. So we can see what we can do there, and I think we need to be at -8 about. So let's get a parallel track here. Down to -8. And then I think if we can get out here. Is that too steep? Let's just start with -4, just get it out there, and then down to -8. See how tight we can get it. I'm not sure if it kind of snakes between like this, but for our purpose I think this is good. And then for the rest we can just kind of work on connecting all the tracks together, and I do want to keep the game running because, as you see, it's already costing a bit and we don't have the tracks put in yet. It's going to cost even more, and it would be nice to just have all of this built in one go, and then we can put in the 2 train. And I think just for now we're going to have the terminus here. I don't want to do the 3 train now because then they would have to share this terminus, and I think that might lead to some signaling issues. And actually we can't do a crossover here, which is a bit disappointing. Might need to push this over a bit then. Actually, let's see what is this on -8. I'm gonna see if we build the track a little bit out, and then build a station. If we can do a crossover now. See, that is there. Still too short. I'm not sure what's going on there. Let's try that again. Okay, so now we can have a crossover. And that will be the terminus for now for the 2 train, and then we're gonna be building it down south here into, I think they only go in Brooklyn, the 2 and 3 train. So I'll just kind of speed it up a bit while I'm building out all the tracks, and then I'll be back to look at the route, and we can set it up, the 2 train, after that. So I'll be right back. Okay, so now we made it all the way here, and let's see, do we have... And we have all the tracks connected down here in Manhattan as well. So everything we need now is just see if we can get the crossover in here. It's not letting me select anything. I'm not sure why, maybe I need to... Yeah, I think I need a little bit of parallel track here first. Let's see. Okay, so now it lets me. And then I just need to connect these up again. And there we have it. And that is gonna cost us 2.4 billion. So we're not quite there yet. So I'm just gonna let the game run for a little bit and then I'll be back. And we can get it built and then we can set up the route. And probably want to have a little bit more. Or actually, can we do... I wonder if we can do the bigger bond. Because we're at... I think we're a little bit short on the bond to do 1 billion. Yeah. So let's just wait a little bit and then I'll be back. Okay, so now I let the game run for a little bit and we are in day 22 and we actually have enough money now to build this entire thing that we have blueprint for. So I'm just gonna hit build blueprint and we can see it being built very quickly. And then just wanna pause while we do this, and then we're gonna make a new route. So first of all, it's gonna be the 2 train and red, like here, heavy metro, and I'm just gonna start with getting in the end stops. So it's gonna be here, 241st Street, and then down at Park Place in Manhattan, which is the terminus for now. And then because the 2 and 3 train actually runs express in this quad track section, which is going all the way up to about the northern end of Central Park, we need to go into the subway map, and there is actually the easiest to see. You can zoom in a little bit. So if you look here, I don't know why it's so blurry. It's a bit blurry, maybe this is not the full resolution, but this works pretty well to just see. Here we have Park Place, yeah, and Chambers did all of them stop, but then we see just the 1 train, and then 2 train again, 2 and 3. So I'm just going to be using this to kind of see where the 2 and 3 train will be stopping, and then where they're going to be skipping. So I'm just going to go quickly through that, and then I'll be right back and we can see how the line is going to be doing when it's set up and we got some trains running. Okay, so now we have the stops along this quad track, and you can see it skips quite a few stations along here, just stopping at the most important stations, and then of course the station right before. I do see now that some of the stations don't have the right name, so I'm just gonna go around and off camera make sure that all the stations have the correct names. But now after we merge off here, the 2 train is going local, so it's gonna stop on all the stations from here on out, all the way up to the terminus. But the question is, I just need to double check, because here it kind of merges. So we need to go up here and see. So this should be the outer tracks, because we can see the 5 train here has the inner tracks and kind of goes in a loop to turn back here. So we need to make sure that the 2 train goes on the outer tracks when they kind of split apart. Otherwise there's gonna be trouble. I did have some issues because I kind of messed this up on my test run. So this should be working okay now. I just need to make sure that we have the right order, because the game can get a bit confused when you have a lot of merges and interlining, and you have all of the single tracks and all of that. But it looks like it's going okay now. If you look at the ordering, you can see here this is 149, so it looks like it's going okay. But that is something we need to double check after we've done all the different stops. So it should be coming up to the last one here. So 0, 1, let's see. Yeah, it looks like it's going okay. We can actually keep the game running because we're gonna need some money for the trains as well. Just want to see that no shenanigans with the. Yeah, that looks like it's correct. So that is 53 minutes and 54 seconds on the whole line for now, but it's gonna be longer. Then we can just confirm changes and see. That should be a 10 train as well, and definitely need to buy more trains. I'm not sure if we can afford. I want to get at least like around 10, 11, 12 minutes on peak, but we can't afford it right now. Actually, if we pay off this, oh, we can't do that. So let's just run the game for. Actually, I don't want the trains to be running. I just want to make sure that we have enough trains. So let's run the game for like one more day, and then I think we can buy more trains. Okay, so now I'll let the game run for a little bit. I think that we can buy some more trains and have like a decent frequency. Let's see. Can we buy one more? We can get to 12, I think that's okay for now. So 12, 18, 22, 27. I think this is roughly what we have on the one train. And we can just see, probably need to adjust that to higher frequency down there later on. But that's a good way to just start. And then we can see, I think we're at like the middle of rush hour. But it might take a little time to kind of get started properly. And let's see here, I think it's getting some use already. But of course now we're getting out of the busiest time. And we can see how it's doing. Of course here, I think we're gonna go into day 24. And then just let it run through the whole day, and then we can actually use this advanced analytics mod to just see how the 2 train is doing, because here we can actually see now that we have two lines instead of just one. We can kind of start to compare them and look at how it's doing. Because I now I'll let the 2 train kind of run for about 24 hours, I think. We're going on into day 25 now, and you can see it's doing pretty okay. They're both at a little under 200,000. Actually, the one train has gone down a little bit, but I guess that some people use the 2 train for that section instead because of the express. And the 2 train is actually the highest ridership now at 185, 87 a bit. But we have over 300,000 ridership daily. And you see the load factor, the one train is getting less crowded, which is, I guess, good. And the overall, it's looking quite okay. And we can look at demand stats now. So we're at 3.3%. So definitely got a bit more. And we can actually see some blue and purple on the demand stats. But I'm not going to be worried about that right now. Just nice to see that the system is starting to work. So yeah, I think that's a good place to stop it. In next episode, I'm probably going to extend the line, the red lines into Brooklyn here with the 2 and 3 train, and then we can get the whole entirety of the 2 and 3 train running. So that's a good way to good place to start here. Stop here. I think I'm gonna just run the game a little bit between episodes just to have some money to build out. But now that we have more lines, it's gonna just be more and more profit. You can actually look at that now. We're up to 260, about 260 profit, 260 million. So it's just gonna be more and more. So the further we go along, the easier it's gonna be to just quickly make some extensions without waiting a long time. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this episode. I really hope you enjoyed it if you made it this far, and thank you so much for sticking to the end. A like, comment and subscribe would be greatly appreciated. I'd love to hear what you think about this series. So have a great rest of your day, and hope to see you in the next one.